Hey guys, and welcome to my review today of Express VPN. Now, Express is known as one of the oldest and best VPNs in the industry. So today I wanted to do an extensive review of how well it actually works and performs for activities such as torrenting, unblocking streaming services like Netflix, and ultimately keeping you safe and protected online. Now, even though I found Express to surpass most VPNs in several areas, it still won't be the perfect choice for everyone. So I'll also discuss any situations where you may want to go with something else. And just a reminder, you'll find links in the description to any special deals or discounts not available on their website, so feel free to take advantage of those if you like. So I'll start off by taking a look at their privacy policy, which is often one of the main determining factors for whether or not to use a particular VPN. Now, in terms of their privacy policy and promises of absolute anonymity, Express does continue to deliver in this regard. Not only are they completely transparent about their privacy policy in terms of what they log and what they don't, but due to a criminal investigation, it was actually proven that Express VPN doesn't track any relevant information about you on their servers. Because due to the assassination of a Russian ambassador, the Turkish authorities seized one of Express VPN's servers as part of their investigation. They believed someone had used Express VPN while deleting relevant information from the assassin's Gmail and Facebook accounts. However, the Turkish authorities were unable to find any logs or information to help with their investigation. And this is huge because with most VPNs, you're ultimately just trusting and hoping they're doing what their privacy policy states. But with Express, you can actually have that absolute assurance and confidence that this is the case. While it's unfortunate that security tools like VPNs can be abused for illicit purposes, Express is basically so secure that any activity, even criminal activity, won't be exposed by ExpressVPN. Express even goes so far as to say that they will continue to oppose any efforts by governments to install things like backdoors on their servers that could undermine or expose your privacy. Now, something else worth noting is that Express is also based in the British Virgin Islands, which has full sovereignty over its own data regulations. And so this means they don't have to answer to any foreign governments. However, if there's a case where a high-profile criminal is involved, they will probably cooperate. But even in such cases, there won't be any incriminating information to share since ExpressVPN doesn't keep any logs of their online activities. Also, each year Express has continued to allow audits from independent companies like PricewaterhouseCoopers and Cure53, and each year Express passes these audits without a problem. So from a privacy standpoint, Express is as good as it gets when it comes to keeping your online activities completely private. Now, in terms of speed, Express has always been known as being one of the fastest, if not the fastest VPN you can get. However, something to note is that your internet speed will always decrease by some amount when using any VPN because they are basically adding an additional server for you to connect to. But what's unique about Express is they've managed to make this reduction in speed to be pretty insignificant, especially when compared to a lot of other VPNs. For example, after running several different tests for Express in over 30 different countries using a dozen different servers, the average decrease in speed was only about 3 to 7% for local servers and anywhere from 5 to 20% for international servers, which is truly exceptional for a VPN. Even good VPNs will see an average decrease in speed of about 10 to 20% or more for just local servers and around 30 to 50% for international servers. And while I'm not surprised by Express doing so well, given how it's performed in the past, it seems like the new investments they've made into their servers is really paying off and continuing to push the envelope of how fast a VPN can be. Now, something to keep in mind is that there are a few situations in some European countries where NordVPN will sometimes outperform Express, such as in Italy. Also, when connecting to servers in New Zealand, I found Nord would sometimes beat Express at times here as well. So even though ExpressVPN is still the fastest VPN overall, depending on where you're located in the world, there are a few locations where at times you may find Nord will be slightly faster. Now, when it comes to unblocking geo restrictions for different streaming media providers such as Netflix, this continues to be an area that gives a lot of VPNs a hard time. But I found Express, as in the past, continues to be reliable at unblocking a large variety of streaming media platforms such as Netflix, Amazon Prime, ESPN, Disney+, BBC iPlayer, Hulu, and many others, especially when using their newer lightweight protocol. In fact, I found their lightweight protocol to be more reliable than OpenVPN when it came to unblocking geo restrictions for Netflix. So ultimately, out of all the VPNs I've tested, ExpressVPN continues to be the easiest and most effective to use when it comes to unblocking any geo-restricted content. And then regarding the topic of torrenting, this is another area that some VPNs either avoid or tend to penalize penalize their users if they torrent too much. But with ExpressVPN, there are no torrenting restrictions and no bandwidth limitations whatsoever. You also don't have to worry about making sure you're using a special server for torrenting, as all of their servers are optimized for peer-to-peer activity. Basically, this means you can select whichever server will give you the best results and not have to worry about getting into any trouble for it. And because of all the safety measures ExpressVPN has, such as a kill switch, you can be totally confident that no one will know what you're torrenting except you. Now, as you may have gathered from their privacy policy earlier on, Express is basically as secure as it gets. Express uses AES 256-bit encryption in combination with the OpenVPN protocol. Basically, they use the same high level of encryption used by banks and governments. And then a newer security feature Express launched recently is called Trusted Server. This is a technology that ensures your data is never written to a server's physical hard drive, and it wipes all data with every reboot. Now, this just further ensures that none of your data is stored or is even capable of being stored anywhere on their servers. And then protocol-wise, Express provides a decent selection to choose from. It's a good balance between giving those with some experience a few different options to work with, but for those newer to VPNs, you won't have to worry about getting confused or overwhelmed. For example, if you don't have any idea about what protocol you should use, ExpressVPN will automatically pick the best one for you without you ever having to worry about it. Another cool security feature is that Express runs its own private zero-knowledge DNS servers. This means that the websites you visit are all encrypted by ExpressVPN, not your ISP or a third party. Ultimately, this prevents any IP address, DNS, or web RTC leakage, and as a result, Express is able to provide you with government-level privacy and security. Now, Express does support Tor over VPN, so if you're a Tor user, you can use Express in combination with the Tor network. Also, during my testing, there were no data leaks, which can be a problem for a lot of other VPNs. Now, feature-wise, Express has most of the features you would expect, including some premium features that aren't as common with other VPNs. As an example, one of the unique features Express provides is split tunneling, and this feature basically lets you decide which apps are protected by ExpressVPN and which apps won't be affected by it. For example, you may only want to have ExpressVPN active when you're torrenting, or conversely, you may want ExpressVPN to be on all the time except when you're using Google Maps. Either way, this split tunneling feature allows you to have a better user experience as you can customize which applications are affected or not affected by ExpressVPN. Now, a couple features Express doesn't currently have is a dedicated IP address or custom DNS. While the average user won't probably need or want to use these, if either one of these features are critical for you to have, you may want to consider something else. But one of the most important features for any VPN to have is a kill switch, and unfortunately, this is something that a lot of VPNs lack. Express, however, does provide this, which when turned on prevents any information from being sent over the internet if your VPN were to unexpectedly shut down. Now, if you're an iOS user, just keep in mind that the kill switch is automatically enabled, whereas PC users will need to manually turn this feature on. And if you're looking for a VPN that can get around the Great Firewall of China, ExpressVPN is one of the only VPNs that still works in China, despite the country's ability to block most VPNs. While using ExpressVPN, you'll actually be able to access Chinese TV or other websites, and your data will look like any normal browsing data through ExpressVPN's proprietary obfuscation, meaning that the Great Firewall of China won't be able to identify that you're even using a VPN. You also don't need to worry if you're living in countries where there's heavy restriction and censorship. If you're in this situation, all you need to do is have the protocol selection switch to automatic, and then this activates ExpressVPN's proprietary obfuscation technology by default. This means you'll be able to beat aggressive online censorship in places like China and other restrictive countries like Turkey and UAE. But if you're already inside China, you may find that the standard URL to access ExpressVPN is blocked. So if this is the case, just download the Tor browser and use the link I'll provide for you, which I'll put in the description. Now, regarding usability, ExpressVPN has one of the largest selections of servers to choose from. You can get access to over 3,000 servers spread across 160 different locations in 94 countries. And as a result, this makes it very easy to connect to a nearby server no matter where you are in the world. The benefit of having a server close to you to use is that you'll typically get better speed and performance. And then when it comes to device compatibility, I have yet to find another VPN that works so well on such a variety of devices. Express allows you to connect up to 5 devices simultaneously, and this includes devices such as PCs and Macs, mobile devices, Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, a Chromecast, Nintendo, PlayStation, Xbox, and Roku, which makes Express an ideal choice for media streamers, console owners, or gamers wanting to enjoy the benefits of using a VPN as well. Because one of the problems problems I've encountered with other VPNs is either a lack of apps to use on different devices, or the interface of these apps are just more difficult to use. As an example, a lot of VPNs don't include a router app, but Express not only includes one, but it's made their app easy for a beginner to use. So as a result, this means you'll be able to protect devices on your network, such as smart devices like fridges that don't normally run software of their own. And ExpressVPN's apps are so well designed that they've actually won awards for their user interface and how easy they are to use. So ExpressVPN is definitely an ideal choice for anyone who's never used a VPN before. And support-wise, ExpressVPN continues to provide some of the best support I've experienced in this industry. While not all VPNs provide live chat support, Express makes this available to you 24/7. In addition, their support reps are friendly, helpful, and can actually handle technical questions in case you run into any difficulty. Now, when it comes to pricing, there are currently 3 plans you can choose from. All plans include a 30-day money-back guarantee, and they're great about honoring this should you decide you're not happy with their service. Basically, you get a better deal the more months you pay for up front. You can end up saving quite a bit more this way, so I'd certainly recommend that option if that works within your budget. Now, also, I was able to get you guys a couple extra free months, so if you're thinking of trying ExpressVPN, I'll include this coupon in the link below, so feel free to take advantage of that if you like. Now, as great as ExpressVPN is, there are a few reasons it may not be the best choice for someone. First, if you're a more advanced user who wants to be able to customize things such as your protocol and encryption settings, then you may want a VPN that offers you a more granular level of control. While I consider this one of the strengths of Express and why it's so easy for even a complete newbie to use, the simple interface might be a problem for some. Also, if you need or want to be able to connect to more than 5 devices simultaneously, then you may want to consider a VPN that offers a larger number of device connections, because unless you're open to purchasing a second subscription, you may want to consider something else. But otherwise, is ExpressVPN worth the money? Absolutely, because what sets Express apart is the combination of speed, performance, support, security, and features it provides. So it's going to be the ideal VPN no matter what you need a VPN for, whether you're looking to torrent, stream, game, or just want to stay safe online. And whereas most VPNs typically fall short in some way, Express performs exceptionally well in each of these different areas, and that's what makes it such a well-rounded VPN to use. In addition, Express continues to not only be the fastest VPN I've ever tested, but the easiest to use as well. Also, what's unique about Express is they're one of the few VPNs that's been proven not to store any of your online activities. So ultimately, if you're looking for the overall best VPN currently available for beginner and advanced users alike, Express would definitely be the one to get. So hopefully you found this review helpful, and if so, please leave a thumbs up, as I always appreciate that. And just remember that if you want to try ExpressVPN, I'll include a link in the description for some additional free months, so feel free to take advantage of that if you like. Also, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to let me know down in the comments below, as I always love getting to answer as many of those questions as I can. But otherwise, thanks so much for watching, you guys. I really appreciate your time, and I'll look forward to seeing you in the next video.